Good afternoon. I'm Ebony Freeman, Communications and Development Manager here at KSTF. Thank you for your time. The purpose of today's webinar is to provide you with an overview of the Knowles Science Teaching Foundation and our Teaching Fellows Program. Today's presenter is Jeff Rozelle, Director of the Teaching Fellows Program. Without further ado, I'll turn the presentation over to Jeff.
The Knowles Science Teaching Foundation, or KSTF, was founded in 1999 by Janet and Harry Knowles. KSTF is committed to improving STEM education in the U.S. by focusing specifically on supporting beginning high school science and math teachers. The fellowship program is a 5-year coherent professional development experience designed to meet the needs of beginning high school science and math teachers. In addition to experiencing the professional development within a community of other beginning teachers, KSTF Teaching Fellows receive stipends, funding for professional development, grants for teaching materials, and opportunities for leadership and mentoring. Now that you have a glimpse into the primary benefits of the fellowship, let's consider the eligibility requirements. The fellowship seeks to support individuals who intend to make teaching their primary career. In order to be eligible for the fellowship, applicants must have completed a secondary certification somewhere between January of 2010 and September of 2015, with the goal of teaching full-time in a high school science or mathematics classroom no later than the fall of 2015. Potential applicants often ask us if we have a minimum grade point average requirement. We do not. However, we do rely on an applicant's transcripts to assess the extent to which they meet our criterion for the potential to develop content knowledge needed for teaching. This selection process for this fellowship is very competitive. If an applicant's GPA is less than a 3.0, particularly in math or science courses, they are unlikely to be a competitive candidate for this fellowship. KSTF has 3 criteria that we use to evaluate applications for the Teaching Fellowship. While we expand on what we mean by each of these 3 criteria, please note that more detailed information about our selection criteria can be found on the website. The first of our criterion is the potential to develop the content knowledge needed for teaching. Exemplary teachers are able to connect their knowledge of their discipline with the learning needs of their students. Content knowledge for teaching is both broad and deep and is organized specifically for the work of teaching. It includes having the ability to transform expert knowledge for novices, anticipate student difficulties, and build on students' prior knowledge. Although knowledge of the current state of their discipline is crucial for teachers, the content knowledge needed for teaching depends more upon advanced knowledge of elementary concepts than elementary knowledge of advanced concepts. That being said, we expect that fellows will have at least a bachelor's degree in a field connected to the subject they intend to teach. This does not necessarily mean that if you intend to teach math, for example, you must have a degree in math. Some of our math fellows have degrees in engineering or other related fields. But it does mean that you should have significant depth, breadth, and interconnectedness of knowledge from the coursework you've taken. When assessing an applicant's potential in this area, we will look at an applicant's response to the essay that addresses the content knowledge needed for teaching and the associated letter of recommendation. Additional potential indicators include, but are not limited to, grades in content courses, how you think about the discipline, teaching experience in that discipline, and awards, honors, internships, or other distinctive content-related experiences that you've had. The second criterion focuses on an applicant's potential to develop exemplary teaching practices. Outstanding teachers have mastery of a number of professional skills, such as the ability to communicate clearly, work as a team with diverse groups of people, plan, and be flexible. While an applicant's teaching or professional experiences may be limited, we are trying to determine the extent to which an applicant has mastered or will be able to master some of the most important skills demanded of teachers. We look for indicators like an applicant's reasons for choosing high school science or mathematics teaching as a profession, and any efforts they have made to understand the work of high school teachers. We also consider experiences the applicant has had working with adolescents or with teaching, and what they have learned from those experiences. Limited experience with either adolescents or teaching does not necessarily make an applicant less competitive, and conversely, experience teaching or participating in a teacher preparation program does not necessarily make an applicant a stronger candidate. Rather, we weigh the quality of the insights the applicant has gained against whatever experiences they've had. The third selection criterion is the potential to develop the qualities of a teacher leader. KSTF is committed to the belief that teachers can and should be change agents in education. KSTF seeks candidates who have developed their capacity for collaborative leadership in previous experiences and demonstrate the propensity to continue to develop them as leaders in and from the classroom. Leadership is displayed in an applicant's manner of professional interactions and experiences. For example, we would look for instances when you may have behaved ethically and professionally in difficult situations, mobilized others in an effort to bring about change, held positions of responsibility or authority, and/or demonstrated initiative. These three criteria are used throughout the entire application process. In the next few slides, I will talk through that process. There are three phases in the selection process for a KSTF Teaching Fellowship. The first phase involves submitting an application. Access to the application can be found on the KSTF website, and I will discuss more specifics of the written application in the next few slides. The second phase begins in January, when the semifinalists participate in a phone interview with members of the KSTF staff. The third phase is the selection interview weekend. This year, the selection interview weekend will take place in Philadelphia on March 13th and 14th, 2015. We will contact finalists in late February, inviting them to participate in this part of the selection process. To begin an application, complete the registration form found on the application portal page. Applicants will need to write 3 essays, upload a copy of his or her resume or CV, as well as unofficial transcripts. The application also requires 3 letters of recommendation. As part of the application process, you are required to write 3 essays and obtain 3 letters of recommendation, describing how you meet each of KSTF's criteria. Each essay should respond to the prompt and provide evidence of your potential to develop in each criterion. The essay should demonstrate your ability to be reflective and should be grounded in your personal experiences. This will allow us to get to know you as an individual and as a teacher. It's important that you be honest and do justice to how you represent yourself by being selective and thorough rather than broad and superficial. We recommend you avoid abstract statements or platitudes about teaching and education, jargon, or educational theories without personal reflection. In other words, we want to learn about you and how you think about teaching. We encourage you to carefully choose 3 people that have particular insight into your potential to develop in one of each of the 3 areas. Carefully explain the criterion for which you are asking them to write, share this presentation with them, and ask them to share their insights with us. We recommend that you make sure your references understand that we are not looking for 3 general letters of recommendation. Upon completing an application, applicants will be asked to confirm that they are available for 3 mandatory meetings should they advance in the application process. I will discuss the exact dates and provide a brief overview of these shortly. It's very important to note that if an applicant knows in advance that he or she cannot attend any of the 3 meetings, then he or she should not complete an application. Following a review of the written applications, semifinalists will be identified. Applicants who are selected as semifinalists will receive an email in mid-December to schedule a phone interview during the month of January. The phone interview may last approximately 1 hour and is designed to help us learn more about you with respect to our 3 criteria. We may ask about experiences you've written about in your essays, or information contained in your resume, transcripts, or letters of recommendation. Following the phone interview, if you are selected as a finalist, we will invite you to participate in a selection weekend in early March. The weekend involves participation in a number of activities starting Friday at 5 p.m. and continuing through Saturday night. Participation in all of the activities for this weekend is mandatory, and none of the activities can be rescheduled. If you cannot be available for travel to Philadelphia at KSTF's expense to participate in the entire weekend, you should not submit an application. If you apply and are selected as a finalist, but determine later that you cannot attend the selection weekend, your application will be declined at that point. If you are awarded a fellowship, you will be required to attend Orientation Weekend, May 15th and 16th, 2015. Orientation Weekend is designed to help new fellows learn more about the fellowship's benefits and requirements. New fellows will have the opportunity to discuss the fellowship with current fellows as well as with KSTF staff. Again, participation in the entire Orientation Weekend is mandatory, and KSTF covers all expenses. All fellows are required to attend the annual KSTF summer meeting, which occurs the last full weekend in July every year. During this time, fellows have the opportunity to work with others in the fellowship and engage in professional development opportunities tailored to our fellows.
To learn more about the application process, please visit the website listed here. If you have questions that are not addressed in this presentation or on our website, please send an email to apply@kstf.org for assistance. Thank you once again for your time, and have a great day.